huge nap. Oh my God, I just had the sleep of my life. Honestly, I think I sleep like the dead. I have the best sleeps, but I had a dream that I've just put up on social media, and I'm hoping if I can talk out loud, I can figure out what the heck is going on. And in order for me to do that, I need to go back to the start. When I first met my teacher, Pauline Wardell Braddon, a very well known Australian metaphysician, she was the one that originally told me about the prophecy. She was the one that told me I was the chosen one. She was a member of the Old English Society, which is kind of like, you know, like the London School of Cyclical Research and all of that, but old English, like stuff that's been knowledge that's been passed down from generation to generation, right? So I met her, and she was the one that told me about the prophecy in 1998 and 99, because she came to stay with me just before the millennium. I met her in 98, and yeah, because Dad died in 97. I went to Australia in 98. I met her in Australia, and then she came to stay with me in 99. I met my husband, Chris, the one that did all this, in 1999 as well. No, in 1998, like the end of 1998. So, beginning of 1998, sorry. I'm literally still half asleep, even though I've been awake for a while, but I have the deepest sleeps. It's like I die. So, the ancient prophecy, what she told me was that the legend has it throughout, like the indigenous lands, through Mesoamerican people, to the Native Americans, she's called the White Buffalo Calf Woman. To Māori people, she's the whale rider. I don't know who she is to Aborigine people and that, but throughout the ages, there's been this prophecy of like the chosen one, the light, the truth bringer, the one with the golden voice, who talks and unites the world, brings the four corners of the globe together and unites them in peace. And she said that I would be welcomed by the land of A's with open arms, and that when I landed, the love of my life would be waiting on bended knee. She said that I would never be able to walk the street again, and because she was the one that prepared me for everything that's been happening like now since like 2019, she prepared me for it. She said to me that the person who would be responsible for trying to kill me would be blonde. She said a student, and I always thought I knew who that meant, but now I think she was talking about Donald Trump, because he was watching me. I mean, he was taking stuff from my If I Was Prime Minister manifesto and putting it into his speeches just before the election. Around the time I was trying to warn him about McDonald's having human flesh in it and all that sort of thing, now I know he was in on the whole thing. Like, I didn't know back then, but I was told that recently that I was used as bait. The reason why I didn't know who he was in the grand scheme of things is that if I had have known who he was, I would have given too much away, and God needed him to walk into the trap. God needed him and the people around him, like Musk and all of that, to feel safe around me enough that I would be able to gather the kind of information that would be needed in order to bring them down. Now, you know, I said the other day, I'm going to get rid of him for you, America, to say thank you. I'm going to get rid of Starmer's government in that, the UK, to say thank you. Hang on, I'm just having a sip of water. But because of how I do quantum magnetics, and because I'm Indigenous, to Indigenous people, dreams are everything. not just for interpretation and that, but our dreams are our way of communicating with our ancestors and our gods and all that. Like, dreams are really, really important to Māori people, like, really important. And I grew up, like, it was like everyday breakfast cereal eating conversation where we talked about our dreams and sat and interpret, oh, that means so-and-so, oh my God, that means so-and-so. That was normal for me. Of course, you come over here to the United Kingdom and they see that as like a mental illness and they want to kill you for it. But now they're realising the hard way, they don't know what they're talking about when it comes to the way the mind works. And now they're all going to pay through the teeth very dearly for what they put me through. But I'm using that money to build my schools, right? And to bring in Indigenous kids from all over the world who would otherwise not be given the opportunity to let their gifts and their talents rise and shine. So I had a dream while I was dead, while I was I was literally dead to the entire world. I went off grid and was like dead to the entire world for a few hours because I was passed out. I had a dream that I was sitting on a cloud. I was sitting on a unicorn. Now, the thing is with unicorns, they're probably the most underestimated mythological animal in the totem range, because people are like, oh my God, and the LGBT, SPRT, LMXN sort of thing. And I have nothing against the LGBT because, like, my son and everything, like, that's not it. It's, the ones that have taken it too far and ruined it for everybody else have turned unicorns into something to be embarrassed of. And that's unfair on unicorns, because unicorns aren't only the totem of magic and mythology, like, they bring myths to life. They, like Pegasus, they take all the information from the gods and bring it down to man. But the thing is, specifically with unicorns, is that they are like the anti-venom to darkness. So even like the scariest demon, even like the most horrendous, scary, like devilish, fearsome demon or devil has no power over a unicorn. All a unicorn has to do is touch darkness or evil with its, or poison or toxicity with its horn, and everything turns into light and nirvana and an oasis and rainbows and all of that. So I was sitting on the back of this unicorn, and the kids, there were kids climbing up on the rainbow and jumping off the rainbow and into these massive desserts, like puddings. And then and the puddings were like water, and then they were taking the bits of the rainbow that had been stuck off them, like how it was like they were like, how can I explain it, like gold dust, but it was all rainbow coloured. And they were planting the gold dust in the ground, and then big trees, more rainbows were sprouting, and then out of the rainbows, like, trees were growing, like massive, huge, like redwood, oak, kauri trees, huge. They were absolutely huge. And then off the branches and leaves and that were growing more puddings and desserts. And then people were coming along and picking the desserts and that and sitting under the trees and eating all the puddings and that. Now, I know what that means. So, I mean, that's awesome. But it's the bit when my niece came to me, the one that I just lost, my Ambi, and she told me to get ready because I was getting ready to leave. And she said, pick the man, pick the place, and it's yours. And so I'm sitting there thinking, like, I didn't know I had options. So I'm sitting here thinking, because my dreams all have codes in them, I'm trying to figure out through these codes and through all the stories I've wrote, because if I see it in my head and I write it down, I manifest it in real life. That's how my alchemy works. So I'm trying to decipher all the codes to figure out where it is I'm supposed to be going. And I'm thinking, well, my teacher had originally said I'd go to the land of A's. Now, if you look at what Russia looks like in their language, it looks like it's full of A's. So I thought, well, I'm going to Russia because that's where I want to go. That's where I feel like home is. But now she's come along and reminded me of this dream and the prophecy where I was told I'd go to the land of A's. So now I'm thinking, if I'm getting rid of Donald Trump's administration, because she said the land of A's would welcome me with open arms. She said that they would be so proud of me that they would literally be saying, like, come here, like, come and live here, like, we want you here, we need you here, like, you need to be here. And so I go. Now, my husband, Martin, is American. He's from New York. He was born in Nicaragua. He's an illegal. I'm not even hiding that anymore after everything he did to me. And yeah, we were originally, when I first met him, when we first got together in 2016, we were originally going to be going to America. Was setting up my radio show in Chicago so that when he got out, we were going to immigrate to Illinois, and I was going to have my radio show in Chicago and that. But of course, that never happened. That was sabotage, because I didn't know by that point that my former students, who had beef with the fact that I was expecting them to have morals and ethics and do the work and toe the line, had been plotting and planning and scheming behind my back to stop me from fulfilling my dream. Now, the whole thing is, after everything that's happened over the last couple of days with old Trumpy and Starmer and that, all the people who tried to stop me from getting to America originally are now in court documents associated with Jeffrey Epstein and human trafficking. So that backfired, especially Santaro. Geez, hang on, sip. So now I'm thinking, well, what are my options? She said I had options. And then it reminded me of a dream that I had when I was locked up. I've got a bag full of paper because I was full of like timestamps documenting when I collapsed, when I stopped breathing, when they didn't charge my phone for 3 days, like what time I handed the phone in and when I got it back and there was no battery and all that sort of thing, because they do really vindictive, vicious things like that to torment and punish the girls that were in there. Like some of these nurses and that were really vindictive and vicious and nasty, and so they'd, in order to exert some sort of authority over you so that they could feel a little bit more important, they would purposefully do things. No, we didn't. Oh, we'd never do that. And it's like, well, I'd just walk away and smile and think, yeah, well, I wrote it down on a piece of paper and I'd date and timestamp it. So I've got a bag in the closet full of notes and document, like this happened at this time, this person said this at this time, so that when I took them all to court, they can't deny it, because I know that they have hidden cameras and that. If they deny anything, I can get the court to pull up their surveillance cameras and look at the timestamp and go, they did leave her choking and not being able to breathe in the hallway at this, because they did. Like I collapsed. I literally, from the medication and not being fed, I collapsed in the hallway and they left me there. I was told to get up and go back into my room. I've got photos of blood in my vomit bowl, all that sort of thing that they tried to. She said it was food, but it couldn't be food because I was being starved. It was actually because I was vomiting so much that I had my esophagus and guts and that was ripped raw, and so I was vomiting blood. But I've also got, when I started writing with a little help from my friends, in that bag, and also and then they were gone in there. And one of the things I wrote down was a dream that I had where God, as Odin, I think it was, we were standing on the white cliffs of Dover, and all the nurses and doctors and that did me wrong, that were racist and bigoted and evil, God, or Odin, was, he had a golf club and he was like knocking them off the white cliffs of Dover, and they were all crashing to the bottom of the cliffs and dying in various different ways. And then the one Chinese doctor who told me to give up on my dream because I was too sick to ever think that I could rescue human trafficked children, God hit him with the golf club and he shot across the water and vanished. But just before he did that, he sat me down on a tree trunk that was cut out like a throne, and he said, he handed this massive book And he sat me down and he said, pick one. While I'm doing this, pick one. And I'm pretty sure I've written that dream down. And I'm like, so I start flicking through the book, and it's like a phone book of men, like an A to Z, and it's their profiles. Hi. I remember the first guy, because it was alphabetical. My name's Adam. I'm blah, blah, blah years old. And if you love me, if you choose me to love, I'm going to do this for you and do that for you. And I will support, and I'll be able to bring this and offer this and blah, blah, blah. And I don't have children, but I know I'm going to get on really well with your sons and all that sort of thing. And this was a massive book. So my niece said, pick a man, pick a place, and it's yours. What she means is like, because I've passed the test, because I stepped through the 1111 portal, because I rose above everything that I was put through, and I took the moral high ground. In my dreams, I was told I'd been given the Midas touch. I just posted my ghost zombie dream with St. Joan of Arc. So now I'm thinking, is it France? Should I go to France? I found a gorgeous property for sale a few months back that I talked about on X, that would be perfect. It's got like a ton of land, and the main building part that I would be turning into what I needed it for, like the Royal Oak Tree Inn, and that already has a recording studio built into it, which means that the kids, when it came to recording music and doing any of the radio show stuff and anything like that, it's already there built in. But the only way I'd go to France is if Marine Le Pen was president, not Macron, because he's like my chosen enemy. Like he's the enemy. He's the enemy to God. But I know he's getting ready to go anyway. So I'm thinking, well, because they're saying like she's getting ready to take over. So I'm thinking, okay, is it France? Am I going to France? But if my boys decide to come with me, I don't think they'd be happy about going. They said they want to see France, but they don't want to live in France. So it's like, well, okay, is America going to say to me, you got rid of our greatest enemy, come in? Because what my teacher said was that they would welcome me with open arms. She said, she actually made the movement with her hands. Come, like you have to come here, come here. You have to come here, you have to be here, we need you here. So this dream with Joan of Arc, she said, are you upset that we, the law, unchose who you had chosen to be your protector? And I said to her, no, your grace. And she said, do you have faith in us? And I said, yes, I do. So, I mean, I didn't know I had options, because it's like I said, I live under a rock. It's not that I'm antisocial, I just have no interest in being around people. It's not that I have no interest. I just have no time for drama. And I'm around people who bring too much drama, and all I'm trying to do, you know, when you're trying to study for an exam and you got all that constant noise and you're just wanting to focus and put your head down in your books. Well, I mean, these have been my learning years. And so I'm not wanting to deal with people's like relationships and, you know, fights that they're having with people and stuff like that. I'm focused on honing in my craft and mastering my skills in quantum magnetics, because people have to understand that the second my book gets printed, the second my game gets made, the second my movie gets has that final cut and is put on the screen, the second we put something on our streaming service and our TV show, that's going to manifest in real life. Because if I see it in my head and I write it down, it happens in real life. And I've been proving this over the years with my dreams and my stories. Like I've purposefully been posting my dreams and my stories and all of that so that people can see it manifesting in real life. Interpreting it has been hard, because there's been a million times when I've assumed, oh, there it is, that's what that meant. Oh, so that's what that dream meant. Oh, that part in that movie, that's what that meant. And most of the time I've been wrong. because like divine timing. I've been trying to hurry time up so that I can get home and get, because all I want to do, all I care about, the only thing I'm focused on next to getting justice and getting out of here is building my school and bringing these children in from around the world. That's all I care about. I don't really care about a love life, because like until I meet a man who is like my equal, who's there by my side, and he knows the plan and he's on board, and there's no mind games or emotional gameplay or no blackmail honey trap bullshit coming from that lot over there and all that sort of thing. Like, I don't care about that. Like, until he's there standing in front of me saying, I'm the one for you, and this is the plan, and this is what I want to have happen with us, I have no interest. So I'm just focused on the end goal. I'm keeping my eye on what I can see coming up towards me and blocking everything out with I've shut the side blinders down, because I'm just pinpoint focused on where I'm going. But I've always been told that when I get to where I'm going, he's going to be there, which means I already know him by the time I get there. But it's like I said, like, I have options, because I'm not talking to anyone on the phone. I'm not having visits with anyone. I'm not talking to anyone on social, like on WhatsApp or anything like that. So where are these options exactly? But then it reminds me of the Trump Biden alligator dream, where the men in blue suits were looking up at the screen because they were worried about Biden starting World War III. Of course, now the script has flipped and it's Trump. And so they come up with a plan to quietly remove him. Now, I believe, obviously, this is the Epstein files. The men in blue suits, because they were having secret meetings on buses and like in buildings and restaurants and that were away from the Senate building or whatever it's called. I'm assuming that's the one that looks like the big white booby. They were praying for a miracle, because they knew that the president was about to take them to hell, and they didn't know how to deal with it. And they were literally in corners, quietly huddled in buses, having these meetings and praying to God for a miracle to save them, because if they didn't do something, they knew that America was going to go to a really bad place. And they looked up and they were watching me on a big TV screen. And I was the answer to their prayers. So then, of course, when that was all said and done, I'm trying to walk away, and then just like all these men, they were like Indigenous, like Native American, they were Hispanic, they were African American, they were all sorts. There were just like thousands of them, thousands and thousands of them standing in this park, looking at me, looking at the men in blue suits praying, looking at me on the big screen telly. And then when they saw me, because I was trying to sneak past, and when they saw me, they all came charging at me, and I'm like, oh my God, is that what my sister, is that what Amber was talking about with the options? Because my teacher said, when the world knows your name, the people who did this to you will become the most hated people in the world, and their names will be blacklisted everywhere they go. They won't be able to go anywhere in the world and no one will rent houses to them. No one will give them jobs. No one will help them out. No one, is going to want to, like, they won't get benefits or support or anything like that as punishment for trying to stop the one from the prophecy from saving the world from really bad people, from protecting, because children are our future. Without children, we're screwed. And we've got people like, these Bill Gates and eugenicists and that, trying to make sure that they control when and where and if we're allowed to have kids and stuff. So I've worked behind the scenes for years and years and years documenting everything that I have been told to document for this moment now, where their towers are starting to come down, because I keep saying over and over again, when Trump falls, they all fall. And with a little help from my friends, when Jeb the Goblin King dies, everyone in the Shadowlands retreats back to the Shadowlands in fear of retribution from the gods. So, hang on. So now I need to get to a place where I can build this foundation. We were originally going to go to Montana or South Dakota. They were the two options. When we wrote Vanta Black, even, which is now called The Night of the Black Sun, it's based on Bill Gates, and it's Knight, The Night of the Black Sun. It's to do with, the Nazi occult Black Sun symbol. That was originally set in Montana. And then they had to drive to Thunder Bay in Canada to rescue their friend and go to the kids at Thunder Bay, because I was originally going to build the Dragonarium, or the safe house in Thunder Bay. There's a high population of Native Canadians, Indigenous, like Inuit and all of that. A high concentration of them around there, and I would be able to help them. They'd benefit from me building there. But then everything happened, all hell broke loose. All this stuff happened with my ex. And then while I was going through my training, I was reminded of Russia. And my dad actually just recently reminded me of the first time I met Vladimir Putin on the telly. And I thought he was so hot. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, he's so cute. But I was like 19 years old. I was sitting changing my niece's nappy, because my sister had just died and she'd left a 7-week-old baby. So I gave up my teacher's training to help my mum with the baba, who's now got a baba of her own. So then I started being reminded of, like, the favourite watch I ever had as a kid had the Kremlin on it. It was a present I got one Christmas, and I treasured that watch more than you'll know, until it broke. I was devastated. I wore it right up until I was like 16, until it broke, and I was devastated. So then it's like I started having dreams about Russia, and like every time I see Russia, it feels like home. It really does. It even looks like New Zealand. So I didn't even know Russia had rainforests. And I put so much time and effort and hope into hoping that it would be Russia. But it was like every time I'd just get to the door, it would be slammed in my face. And then I had that dream, Tell Vladdy Bye, where I was told something about him, which I can't remember. And I was like, oh, okay then. And then I was told, look to the east, and there I'll find home. So now I'm thinking, well, France is east, Denmark. It can't be Estonia now, because they've been mean to Russia, and I won't support anyone that's mean to Russia. There's Belarus, there's, like Lithuania and Latvia and that. So it's like, okay, is it France? But I don't know that my boys would be okay with moving to France. So she said, just pick a place. And the place that I pick is where my protector will be. So it's like, am I being directed back to America? I'm trying to figure it all out, because, like, I know I'm about to leave. I'm getting to the point now where when I get paid on Monday, I'm going to start gathering up boxes and that to pack the things that I know I'm going to take. I'm going to start getting rid of things, because I know I'm getting ready to leave. I can feel my feet starting to lift off the ground, and my feet are itchy. And if you get itchy feet, it means movement. That you're getting ready to go on the move. And my feet have been really, really itchy. So it's like, I don't know who these options are. I thought I had an option, but he didn't show up. He didn't, none of them, they're not, I think it's, I'm a lot to handle. Whoever my protector is somebody who's going to like absolutely have to love everything that I'm doing, because he's the one who's been put in position to protect me, so that all the people who want to do business with me, all the people who want to interview me, not that he's my manager, but he's my bodyguard, so to speak. He's the one that they'll have to go through him to get to me. Because what my teacher said is that once the world knew my name, I'd never be able to walk down the street again. She said that people would be ripping my clothes and pulling at my hair and things like that, not because they were wanting to hurt me, but because they were wanting to have a piece of me, because they would know that I was the reason why the darkness fell away. And he's supposed to be, it's not that he's more powerful than me, but he's more protective, because he's the man, so he's the protector, and the woman is the nurturer. So basically, he's the one that makes sure that all the bullshit I've just had to deal with will never happen again. Because with him being totem buffalo, he's like the ground spirit, and he's, if I'm golden dragon and he's buffalo, if you look at it, if you're indigenous, you're going to know what I mean. To anybody else, they're going to be like, what? But like when you're talking about totems, if he's the buffalo, the great buffalo, if he's the buffalo and he's my protector, that means that he's responsible for earthly protection. So while I'm up there, think of it as like me being a balloon and him holding on to the string, and people wanting access to the balloon, wanting the helium in the balloon. He's making sure that the only people that get that helium are the ones that deserve it. So while I'm surveying in the stars, and like a lighthouse, like a beacon, a lighthouse with my little beacon of light flashing out and saying to people, I'm safe harbour, come in, and drawing them to me, and this is what I see, and this is what I see out in the distance, and the shores are calm and the oceans are clear, and here comes the storm, and hunker down, everybody get ready. That's, if I'm that, then he's the one that makes sure that when the people get to shore to reach my lighthouse, there's nobody trying to stop them. There's no rocks. There's no marauders. There's no pirates. There's no. So he keeps the ground safe and protected, while I keep the skies safe and protected. And he's buffalo totem, because that's what buffalo, the great spirit. They are buffalo, are the voice between the spirits, and they bridge the gap between the living and the ancestors, or the living and the spirits, and that. So so I don't know who he is, because it's like every time somebody has stepped forward to say, I'm going to be, well, I would like to be your buffalo, the second they get a taste of my magic, it spooks them, and then they run. Or they were honey traps and trying to tempt me off my path. But I have no time. It's like people think I don't see what's coming. I would play with them for a bit for my own amusement, but then it's like, ugh, no, I'm done now. Move on. Like, next. Not interested. Like, I'm not. I have no interest in how much money you make. Money doesn't interest me. I'm going to have my own money. I don't want yours. I'm not interested in yours. I don't care what you do for a job. I have no interest in, like, if you turn up in a sports car. If you turned up in like a Maserati or something, I would be too embarrassed to get in it. I really would, because I'm very humble. So even with the millions that I'm going to get from this lawsuit, even with the billions that I'm going to be generating once I'm able to make my dating app and stuff, I have no interest in money. I'm giving it all away. I'm taking what I need for me and my kids, and then I'm putting it all back into my school. I'm literally giving this money that I'm about to get from taking Trump and Gates and Starmer and my ex and all that down, I'm giving it all away. I'm putting it all into the children and my staff and my charities. You know, I want to be philanthropic, conservation programs and all of that, saving wolves and bears and, you know, banning hunting and saving sharks from being turned into fin soup and all that. That's what I want to put my money into. Hang on, sip. So he needs to be somebody who looks at me and doesn't think I'm too scared to approach in case she picks it. Like, I'm only going to know things about you if I'm told things about you. If I'm not told things about you, I'm never going to know. If you're being deceitful, I'm going to be told. In which case, I take my sword and I'll chop your head off. You know, like metaphorically, I remove you. Like you're a parasite. Go away. Because I don't have time for that. I'm 53. You know, like I know I'm a leap year baby of 19 now, and I'm new to this world, and I've just been reborn into this new supernatural power. But I am a woman, you know, and I don't have time for that. So whoever he is, he can't be strutting at me with the whole, you know, and I make this and I'm this person because I don't care. All I care about is, are you going to cheat? Are you going to lie? Are you a man of your word? I can't stand people who say they're going to do something and then don't do it. Like, do what you say and say what you do, because that's what I'm like. No bullshit, just straight to the point. If you're going to say you're going to do something, do it. Because like the biggest turn off for me is people who promise things and then don't deliver. That's flaky, you know, and I don't have time for that because, like, I'm trying to bring someone into my future who's going to be building nirvana for children who would otherwise never know life outside of the desert or, you know, in the far regional provinces of China or, you know, plucking them off the streets of India and Brazil and places like that, and the inner cities of New York and that, and bringing them to a place where they're going to be able to be free, live free, be creative, be expressive, and not have to give a damn about what people think, because basically the only limit and control that they will have is based on their own imagination and what I'm going to be able to offer them in terms of their schoolwork and training. Their schoolwork isn't going to be English and maths and social studies and economic studies. Their schoolwork is going to be learning to make video games, learning to make TV shows, whatever their interest is. You know, when I grow up, I want to be a singer, okay, or an actress or an actor or a dancer, okay, so come to us and act in our movies or sing in our songs or be in our theatre productions. Your accommodation and everything's taken care of, and any money that you want to earn is earned through what it is you're going to be doing for us. Instead of paying actors to come in to make everything, the kids are going to be the actors, so then they get the money. So instead of paying 4.6 gajillion dollars to have a Brad Pitt in The Night of the Black Sun, we're just going to have normal, average, everyday kids and my staff and people around, just normal, average, everyday people coming together to create schoolwork for the kids. And so instead of all that millions going to somebody famous, we just take some of that money and give it as money to the kids and that to be in our films, so they get paid to learn doing what they love. And I've written a whole series of movies, games, TV shows, kids cartoons, kids cartoons. I just, oh my God, when the truth comes out and my story is told and my neighbours find out who I am, they're suddenly going to be realising, that's why we heard her talking in a Welsh accent. That's why we heard her talking like Scottish or Oh, that's why she said that way, because I've been practicing the voices, because even though I have to work around my disability now, one of the things I want to be doing is lending voices to cartoons and that. So I've come up with this kids cartoon that's kind of like Thomas the Tank Engine and Chuggington, Paw Patrol, that sort of thing. And I'm doing one of the voices. And then, of course, there's Miss Jodine, who I'm pretty sure I want her to be Welsh. So I've been practicing with the Welsh accent because, oh my God, I just love the Welsh people so much. What I know is that I have to go where it snows. 75, 45% of my business revenue will be coming from the snow and Christmas. So where it is I go, it has to snow. So now she's saying, like, pick a place, pick a man, and it's like, what are my options? Because I didn't know I had options. But if I go by the prophecy, it's the land of A's. So we were like, well, is that Canada? Because at one point I thought it was Canada. Is that Alaska? The boys are like, I'm not moving to Alaska. Is it Australia? We're not going to Australia because Australia will eat us. They're convinced that everything in Australia will eat them, even though I grew up in Australia. So it's like, okay, well, Russia in their language is all A's. But now I'm thinking, well, now that I'm getting rid of the Trump administration for America, it fits what my teacher said when she said they'd be like, come, like, you have to come here. This, like, we need you here. You need to be here. You have to come here and do it here. Because I'm going to take over Hollywood. With everything that's happening with Trump and the Epstein stuff, like, Hollywood's going to die. The music industry's going to die. You know, the whole Diddy lot and that, like, it's going to, because they're all going to end up, like, on trials, fleeing, scattering to the four corners. None of these people on that list are going to be able to hide what they were involved in. Modelling, you know, and I'm going to have my own fashion house. And I always said on X, it's almost like I'm building the world of entertainment and culture and music and all of that, you know, the arts and entertainment industry. I've been quietly building this empire as God's getting ready to tear down the old one. So wherever it is that I build my first foundation, that's going to end up having the new Hollywood. My foundation will be like a traditional wholesome family version of the original Disney in California. So my music company will take over like Motown and Def Jam and all of that. You know what I mean? So as God's been tearing all of them down, on the other side in the new world, I've been building a brand new version up from nothing, but it's wholesome and traditional. Our talent agency will not let anybody do to those kids what has been allowed to happen to those kids, like, you know, Corey Haim and Michael Jackson and Britney Spears and Justin Bieber and Shirley Temple and Judy Garland, and that will not be happening on my watch. That's not going to happen to any of my talent. Their money will be protected from their parents and their managers. Their royalties will be untouched by nobody but them. Like, I have meticulously over the years, like, built this industry, this empire from the ground up. And so whoever the man is that I crown to take the throne beside me in this empire needs to be somebody who is mature enough to be okay with letting go every now and then and being a character or putting on a concert or, you know, wanting to be a part of it. I want to be with someone who wants to be a part of what it is I'm doing with the kids. I don't want to have to go out on stage. I know with the musical, I'm going to be in the musical because I play the role of mum. So I don't want to do it, but I'm doing it for the kids. So, you know, it's like it doesn't matter what makes me comfortable or not. All I care about is the kids and the kids having fun. And then when they go back to their lives, they can see their value and what it is that they helped us produce. Now, the thing is, my son Thomas and I were writing Van to Black, which is now the Night of the Black Sun, to raise awareness for human trafficking. And now that all this stuff's happened with Donald Trump, that musical that is our version of War of the Worlds that we're going to perform live in the park of in the grounds of my school. We're going to set up like a big, we're going to have like a big outdoor amphitheatre, and we're going to invite people, and we're going to put on concerts and that sort of thing, like all year round. But Van to Black Van to Black, the Night of the Black Sun is our Halloween one. And because it's about a zombie apocalypse, obviously it's like our version of War of the Worlds, but instead of an alien invasion, it's a zombie apocalypse. But it's to raise awareness for human trafficking. And now I think people are going to get it. So any of the musicians, because I need musicians, I need a composer. I thought I'd found a composer, but that ended up becoming like a whole Facebook hacking thing, and oh God. So yeah, I need to take the musical that I've been writing in my head and put it into sheet music, and that, where I've got musicians who come and have sessions with me to perfect this musical, to get it all written out, so that when we get the children in, my musicians can teach it to the kids and get it perfected, and because they'll take over like the music school part, and then the kids can go and perform and perfect and practice, so that by the time the show comes about, we've rehearsed it, and then we can open the gates, let people come in, sit down with their blankets and their hot cocoa and that sort of thing, and watch us perform this musical. And I can't wait. So I would like somebody who, if he couldn't sing or play a musical instrument or anything like that, he was at least happy to stand in the background and make sure that the kids got on stage on time, or he was in charge of making sure that the security guards and that were all in place. Or do you know what I mean? Like, instead of just him being in his office on the other side of where we live doing his thing while I'm putting on these great shows, I want someone who wants to be a part of it, even put on a costume, even put on a voice. Like, I don't care about experience, I care about talent. I know there's people that are going to be working in Chinese shops and chip shops and supermarkets and in hospitals and that, who put on really incredible voices that nobody knows about. They're who I want. Come down and be the voice of this character for me, and you get paid, and you're helping children. You're putting meaning back into the world. You're taking something that you thought was just like this little seed of nothing and turning it into something that's going to bring joy to millions of people around the world, while saving children, and not just saving their lives, but saving their mental health as well. You're going to be giving, your little seed is going to be bringing so much value to a child's life. You get to walk away from these projects knowing that you helped contribute to building the new world. So yeah, so that's what I'm looking for. So I don't know what she's talking about with options and that, but I'm starting to go through the codes, and it's like, okay, at this point, if Russia's out, my next options would be Hungary, France, maybe Italy, and America if Trump was gone, or Canada if Carney was gone. If America and Canada got back to their senses, and were, not insane, then yeah. But all I know is that whoever my protector is, he's loyal, he's honest, he's dedicated, he's faithful. He wouldn't dream of looking at other women. He wouldn't dream of entertaining other women, because he knows my value. He knows what I bring to the table. He would also know that I'm powerful enough that if you did something to betray me, you're going to answer to God for it. You'd be taking 1,000 million steps backward by betraying me, than if you just came to me with your heart on your sleeve and said, look, I only work for the council, or, you know, I only work for an airline. I only work in the ticket of whatever the job is. I don't care. I'm only a this. To me, you're my emperor. So I don't see that how much money you have, and all I care, to be honest, all I care about, other than, you know, honest, loyal, faithful, blah blah blah. Just don't give a shit that I smoke weed, because I need it. I can't survive without it. I have no access to it here. It's not legal, but I need it. Because it's the only thing I can take. So don't be judging me for that, because it's the only thing that gets me back on my feet. And he has to like food. He's somebody that, if he approaches me now before I get to the country I'm destined to go to, he knows who I am. He knows what I do. He knows what I'm bringing to the table. So I'm not going to be a surprise to him when he comes to me, just as long as he is honest. Don't hide anything. If if you've got kids to other women, okay, don't bring any baby mama drama. Like, you know, like if you don't have kids, like I don't care. I don't care about any of that, as long as when we're together, it's about us and our home is our castle, and he's on board with everything that I'm building. I don't want to be with someone who causes me any friction or tension, where it's like, but I want you to come here, but I want you to do this, and it's like, it's not about you, mate. My path is set. I'm inviting you. This isn't about you. You don't get to make the decisions, because I'm here for God and I'm here for humanity. And so my purpose isn't about a man. The man is the option. Not the decision. Having a man is my decision. You know, with or without, it doesn't bother me. I can have a baby without a man. I just need a sperm donor. But and I know I'm going to have another baby, so he has to be someone who's at least wanting another baby, because I know I'm having another baby. So yeah. So now that dream, it's got me thinking. She just said, pick a place, pick the man, pick the place, and it's yours. But it's like, where's the menu? There's places, like I said, Hungary, France, America and Canada, if they sort themselves out. Maybe even Switzerland. I'd love to live, and we did think about moving to Switzerland. I did contemplate moving to Switzerland. Switzerland looks amazing. And with Klaus Schwab and that going to prison, with the World Economic Forum and that being torn down, Switzerland's not going to be a threat anymore. And it snows there. So, I mean, I have options for places, but the men, because my teacher said that he would be there when I got there, which means I know him before I get there. And I'm not talking to anyone. I literally have like 7 numbers on my phone, and they're all family and a couple of friends, and none of them are male. So yeah, so I'm getting nervous, because I know what's coming, and I was promised. My teacher promised me that when I got to where I was going, he would be there. He'd be by my side. He'd be with me, and I'm sitting here by myself, knowing that I'm on the precipice of change. I'm literally about to tip off that cliff and take that leap of faith towards my new direction, and I'm flying solo. Just like in Message in a Bottle, when the bottle smashed and Tardovsky got dragged off to the judge, the little fairy who wings came out, and she turned into a huge bird and flew off to the Kelly Forrest and took her place on the throne shaped like made out of a tree trunk, and the animals all came and put the crown on her head, and the kids were running around playing, and she was watching the forest bloom and prosper and all of that, and that's where it ended. But in that movie, she's by herself. So I don't know. So yeah, I have to be careful who I employ. There's not going to be a single staff member, from my construction workers to my caterers to my shop assistants to my mentors and that. I'm going to have to interview every single one of them. And the people that help me create this stuff are going to be helping me create literal magic. Because, like I said, if I see it in my head and I write it down, it manifests in real life. So if we're making movies and stuff in the future where the stuff I've written into it hasn't happened yet in real life like it's doing right now, because every single one of my dreams over the years have now started coming into land. I said it's like a meteor shower of truth bombs hitting, and all these dreams are now coming in, like they're all landing, plop, 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 all over, to that's been predicting the future for the last like 10 years. Everything in it is all happening right now. Playing like it's like watching playing a game of Risk or something. I've been playing. I love that game, and yeah, and now it's like all the pieces have been moved around the board and the battles are being fought, and I'm just sitting watching it play out, knowing that I'm the one that created the board game. It's just been fascinating to watch, but it's like I've only got like a handful of dreams now that haven't come to fruition, that I've been documenting, and stories and that, where the storylines and it's all starting to manifest in real life. So anything that we create going forward that hasn't happened, and that is alchemical prophecy, they all have to be the right kind of people, that what we manifest turns to gold. It turns into the Midas touch for everybody that engages in what it is that we're producing, because of my biorhythmic algorithm. Because everything that I write is infused with a biorhythmic algorithm, so that when you put the VR helmet on, when you put the headphones on, when you sit and watch the movie or the TV show, and that you're healing without even knowing it. Like my supernatural foods, my diet food, my health food. You're eating cakes and burgers and pies and all of that, and your body is healing and you don't even know it. You're not going to see where the biorhythmic algorithm has been infused into what it is we're creating. So my writers, like my screenwriters and my script writers and my actors and my musicians and music producers, and like we all need to be on the same page. So whoever I interview, we have to be on the same page. And I don't care about experience. I don't care if you've got 2 seconds experience and you're just good at what you do because you practice in your bedroom, or whether you've got a history of performing with famous artists from the 70s. I don't care. All I care about is the talent, not the prestige. And trust me when I say I am around people all the time who just are normal, average, everyday people that you wouldn't even know have the most beautiful singing voices, or have the most incredible interior design talent, or have the most incredible ability to like do different voices and stuff. And they're the people I want on board, because we've had over 125 years of the rich and famous telling us what we should and shouldn't like in movies and games and TV and radio and all that. And now it's time, I think, for the average everyday person to rise up and start having the entertainment that they want and not what's forced upon them. And when you walk through the gates of my foundation, that's exactly what it is. I'm offering like a smorgasbord of things to do in the area of art, food, beverage, entertainment, therapy, that sort of thing, where it's like the world is your oyster. Just take your pick. Just, you know. So, and then the end result of that being that when they leave, they know they've done something to help children who would otherwise not be given the opportunity to show off their gifts and talents and learn and make money from it. Because if we're getting kids off the streets of Brazil because like they're incredible drummers or singers or dancers or whatever, or we're taking them from like a far region of Siberia or China, and you know they're poor or whatever, all the money that they make, they're gonna go home always having it. They'll have money. They'll have money to take back to their families. They'll have money to build a nest egg. They'll have royalties coming in for anything that they contributed talent wise, like for the rest of their life. Even long after they're gone, their royalties will go to their next of kin. And so they get to take those seeds back, and that's what the dream was. When the kids were jumping off the rainbow, when the kids were jumping off what it was I was offering them, they were planting their seeds, they were taking their talents and turning them into bigger things for people to enjoy. So, yeah. So it's not that I'm in my head about that dream. I'm just thinking, well, she was talking about options. And it's like, but I have maybe options for places, but not the protector, because my protector, he's part of the prophecy too. He's been, my protector was prophesied. So I know who he is. I know everything about my protector. I've been dreaming about him since I was 5. I know everything about him. I just haven't physically met him. He's not somebody who's in my physical life. But apparently, according to her, I'm getting ready to meet him. And I always, like in that ghost zombie dream, Joan of Arc said that he would be delivered to be delivered to me like a pizza, that he would be dropped in my lap, like I would just be like happenstance, like he'd just be there. He turns up. He gets delivered. I wouldn't even have to do anything to meet him. He's just going to approach, or yeah. So, but that's the next chapter. So I'm every fibre of my being is saying get boxes and start packing, start getting rid of stuff. And that's what my niece said in the dream. Nana said, get ready, you're getting ready to leave. And that means the whole world's about to know my name, and I'm going to get media vans and people turning up outside that flat. I said to the boys a couple of years ago, I was in the kitchen and I saw the Virgin Mary. This sounds nuts, but I saw the Virgin Mary standing outside my front yard, and there were all these news vans. I even said to my neighbours, some news vans are going to turn up here one day, get ready. Because I know what's coming, so I've been preparing everyone. And now it's all starting to happen, and I'm popping myself because I was promised he'd be here by now. Because he's the one that, hold my hand and walk me through the crowd of people, push people out to give me space to move, assign bodyguards, assign security. My teacher said I'd never be allowed to walk down the street again. She said, like, you're not going to be able to go to the grocery store. You're not going to be able to just go for a walk. Everywhere you go, you're going to need protection. She said, you and your children are going to need protection. And not because of dangers or threats, just because people are going to want to be a part of me and my world, that it would put me in danger. Because she said, like, pulling at my clothes and, like, cutting my hair. And so my protector's the one that is to make sure that whoever is guarding my body, they're the right people. And because he loves me so much, he wants to make sure that when I am outside of the house, I don't have to fear for my safety, because I'm not good around people. My son Gabriel was my emotional support person. I can't, it's because when I'm around crowds and that I see too much, and it gets overwhelming. You know, when you're a biorhythmic calculator, when everything in the earth, when everything in the atomic atmosphere has a biorhythm that turns into like an individual radio station or TV show or movie or whatever pertaining to the people in the crowd, and that, like, it's very energetically overwhelming, and I can be drained of energy really, really, really fast. And then I need weed. I have to go home and sleep for sometimes days. I eat like a man who's been working out. Like, I'm not very big. I'm not chunky. I'm not morbidly obese like I was. I'm quite an athletic build now. But when I'm dealing with quantum magnetics, when I come back down, I eat like a man who's been like working out for 6 hours. I have massive big plates of food. So he's somebody who, when he intuitively know, I need to get her fish and chips. I need to get her need to make sure she's stocked up on weed. I need to make sure she's eating. If I'm the car, he's the engine, or if I'm the engine, rather, he's the car. If I'm the steering wheel, he's the brake. So now, yeah, I'm getting a little bit nervous because when the dead come to you and say, "Get ready," I'm I'm only I'm I'm an introvert until I'm not. They say with a Scorpio, they're an introvert until they're an extrovert. I'm an extrovert around like my family. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm the scorpion that lives under the rock, and I like my little rock. I'm I create my magic there under my rock. And now the rock's about to be lifted up, and I'm like, no, clinging onto the rock. I don't want the world to know who I am, but I don't have a choice because it's for the kids. But see, that's where my protector's supposed to be like, it's okay, baby, we've got this, we're going to do this, I've got your hand, I'm not letting go. We're in this together, me and you, like, we're going to do, it's for the kids, like, my moral support and all of that. So, yeah, so let's see what happens. Yeah, so I'm just, look, I can't even talk properly because I'm having palpitations. I'm sweaty because I know what's coming. So I'm just hoping by putting it out there, it's going to help me figure out where it is I'm supposed to be. Because someone's coming to me to say, we want you here. The Prime Minister or the President of so-and-so wants us to say, we want you with us, and we guarantee this, and we want you with us because we like what you're selling, and we know that you're going to be very beneficial to our country. We like your values and that, so that's what's coming next. But it's like, judging by the prophecy, that would be America, the land of A's. But I could be wrong. Could be Austria. I don't know. Does it snow in Austria? I don't think it would be Austria, but anyway, you know what I mean. I'm rabbiting on because I'm slightly panicking. Oh, God. Okay, so here we go. Just take the leap of faith, Debbie Lee, and jump. So when this goes out, that's me jumping. So thank you for listening, and I shall speak to you later. I love Russia too. We can't see your face. Because I have a broken tooth. My ex-husband, when he tortured me, he was poisoning my food, and I was vomiting a lot. And he wouldn't let me get dental treatment. Because he controlled everything I did. I wasn't, at one point for 3 months, I didn't even have pants. So I couldn't go outside because I had no like jeans or tights or pants to put on. I literally had to walk around in a t-shirt and underwear, which, because I'm Polynesian, that didn't even bother me. But he was poisoning me, and I was being denied a dentist. And so with all the vomiting, the acid in my bile wrecked my teeth and softened my teeth, and fillings and that fell out, and I broke a tooth eating an almond because everything went soft, and I haven't been able to get my teeth fixed because obviously nobody has access to a dentist here anymore because of the illegals and all that, getting all the appointments. And I was told by the NHS the only way I could get them done is if I go private. So I'm just waiting until I get my lawsuit money, and then I'll get the implants and everything to get my teeth fixed. And then you'll see my face. I just don't want to show my face because I want to be able to smile. I've earned the right to be able to smile, and I haven't been able to smile to show my teeth in 3.5, 4 years. So I promise as soon as I get my teeth sorted, they're not, my teeth are perfectly white. It's just I broke a tooth, and some of my fillings fell out from the acid and the bile, damaging, softening the filling up. But they're all at the back. If I smiled, you can't see anything, but it's a dignity. I'm a woman, and I have my dignity. It's not to do with pride and ego, with Carl Jung, and that you have healthy ego and bad ego. You have healthy pride and bad pride. This is healthy pride. I want to be able to present myself to the world looking the way I deserve to look, and not how my ex-husband and the narcissistic abuse and attempted murder was trying to make me look, because he wanted to lower my self-esteem. He wanted to damage my self-image, but I'm not vain. So I just took it as this is God teaching me a lesson in vanity to master my virtues, and vanity is a vice, humility is a virtue. So I just thought this is God teaching me not to be vain. So, but for my own pride and dignity, when I do show my face, see, because I want to be able to have my hair done properly, I want to be able to have my eyebrows shaped and have a big beaming smile. But when that happens, I promise all my lives from this point will be live, and you'll get to see my face. For now, it's preparing you for the message. And once the message is received and you're ready to see me step out, I'll look exactly how I want to look. I have no clothes, like all the clothes that I have were donated. What couple of items I could rescue from the house, all my clothes have been donated. My clothes aren't the best quality. You have to remember I was in a homeless shelter. I had nothing but the clothes on my back and my handbag and my phone, no charger, no nothing, when he got me locked up, when he lied to get me taken away. So everything that I have was given to me by the kindness of strangers. So all the clothes that I wear, apart from a couple of things, were all given to me by people who didn't even know me, who knew I had nothing. Michelle, who's off on a boat sailing around England with her man Al. Hi, Michelle. She came along with all the pajamas and the clothes and the kitchen stuff and the linens and all of that, just out of nowhere, like this angel. So but she's off on a boat somewhere at the moment and out of reach. Probably should get in touch with her. So but I've built an image that I've been working with my sister. The brand, the way that I want to look, the Brahena Sythusa brand and all of that. I know how I want to look, but I can't look that way until I've got the money. And it's not because I want to wear anything expensive. It's just I want to be able to wear stuff that I want to wear that I can't afford while I'm on government assistance. So I have always said nothing in my wardrobe will cost more than, like, I will maybe spend a couple of $100 on, and I mean like a couple, like maybe $200 at the most, on a nice coat or jacket, but you'll never see like Louis Vuittons and all that in my wardrobe. No, I won't have designer bags. I'm not going to be one of these people that walks around with like diamonds and jewels and Rolexes, and I mean, I wouldn't wear anything that's been mined from the earth. I'm fundamentally opposed to like diamonds and rubies and all that unless they're synthetic. Even my wedding band won't be gold unless it's an antique. Yeah, so, or an antique or been passed down. Everything that I wear will be synthetic because I won't mine the earth for my own earthly pleasures. I've got my greenstone, which comes from Aotearoa, which comes from the motherland, which was given to me by my sister. And the greenstone literally sits on the water, under the water in the rivers and that. So it's offered to Māori people. So yeah. So, oh God, I need to calm down. See, this is where having a protector would come in handy. So Russia, I love Russia. I I look at Russia and it makes me sad because I get homesick for it. And I'm from New Zealand. I should be homesick from New Zealand, for New Zealand, but I'm not. There's nothing for me in New Zealand other than my sister. But I'm trying to get her to move to be with me, her and her boys to come and live in the country that I moved to. And there's nothing for me in the United Kingdom. I've outgrown it. There's nothing for me. I need to get off the islands. I need to spread my wings. Islands aren't big enough for this island girl anymore. So I look at Russia and there's nothing about it I don't love. I even like the fact that the kind of what the world would say is control and protection, I see as safety and precautions. Things that I have no interest engaging in anyway, and I would be too busy to even care about things like Facebook and that anyway, and I'll have my own version on my streaming service anyway. I'm revolutionising the entertainment, arts and tourist industry, and the country that I get to build my flagship store in, or my flagship foundation in, is going to like be the new Hollywood. It's going to be the new entertainment capital of the world, just like California and New York and, Broadway and Motown, and they get all of that. So it's a country that is embracing the change into the new world and letting go of the old ways and the old system in order to step back into the future with tradition marrying technology in a healthy way. So no digital money, no digital ID, no, none of that autocratic, dystopian, like, that's all dying now. Now that Donald Trump's been taken down and they're all falling with him, all the parasites and evil in the world are going to be removed. All that is dying and the new is stepping forward, and I'm part of the new and I'm building part of the new. And part of that is, movies and video games and art and entertainment and technology. And then hopefully, if I do this right, my space program, my space navigation system. I've designed a gaming chair called the Mina, the Modular Interlocking Network Archetype. My gaming chair is going to revolutionise entertainment and gaming. There's nothing like it out there. There will never be anything like it out there. What I'm creating in my gaming chair is going to end up being interwoven with my space program. So yeah, I've engineered and created and developed things that are worth billions and billions and billions and billions in patents and rights and all of that. But it was done that way to make sure that long after I'm gone, the kids and my staff will never have to worry about bills and having to shut down. So I haven't done it for me. I've done it for the world, for the children, for the future. And the thing is that people that try to steal from me, like Elon Musk and, all the people that have tried to steal my identity, copy my work, blah, 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 because my downloads come from God. When you steal from me, you steal from God, and you're stealing from the children. Therefore, it comes back on you as karma. And in Trump and Elon Musk's case, in that, God's wrath. And when God's angry, you meet Satan. So, okay, so I'm going to go, and I will, Megan, Amelia, read. I can't even read that. Anyway, so I'm going to go, and I shall speak to you later. I'm supposed to be getting food, but I had a big breakfast, well, a big brunch, so I probably won't have dinner. And now I've got to do my bins, but I'm just hoping that by talking this out, it's going to help me figure out where to go from here. Put in the coordinates of my navigation system and say, it's over here. This is where you need to be. This is where, like, we want you here, come here. We've got everything you need and want right here. That's next. So I need that place to highlight itself. So thank you for listening. And let's see what happens next. It's going to be very exciting. Just embrace the change. Step into it without fear. I promise you will. For the countries that step into the new world without fear, for the people that follow without fear, oh, you're going to love what's coming. You're not going to believe. It's like what I've been saying for years. When this is all over, the shock of the realization that it's finally over, that we finally don't have tyrannical governments and there's no control anymore, and it's back to how it was like in the 50s and that, but where nobody has to worry about corruption or evil or anything like that. People are going to feel like the last 20 years of their life was like a dream, like a nightmare. And what I said was that it was going to take Americans especially about 20 years to recover from what they've just been through. But what they get out of it at the end, they will just be so glad that they rode the roller coaster ride and took the hits that they took, because it's it's like spot on, putting spot on a cat or a dog to kill off the fleas. They've had to drink some of the poison in order to, or absorb some of the poison in order to kill off the parasites. And then once they're gone, they're not even going to know themselves. So just hang in there, guys. We're nearly there. We're nearly at the birth of a new dawn. Just follow my voice. Just listen to what I'm saying. Just keep your eyes on me. And I promise you, I'm going to lead you to the path of salvation in a way that just nobody saw coming. Because you got all these psychics and mediums and clairvoyants and that predicting the end of the world and alien invasions and, Nostradamus, who worked for the Illuminati, by the way, and all of that, predicting the end of the world and, digital ID. And we warned you about this and conspiracy. No. Prophecy and fear is not the prophecy of fear is not the prophecy of God. And if you believe in God and God said, then it's like, well, no, because that's not what he says in the book of Revelation. If you're going to believe any part of the Bible to be true, as a occult physicist, trust me when I say the book of Revelations is 100% spot on. And what does Father say in the book of Revelations is that he was going to let Lucifer loose. Well, the book says Satan, but it's Lucifer, for 1,000 years, and then he was going to let him do his thing in order to tempt all the sinners in that into the bowels of hell, and then he was going to open up hell, and all the devils and demons were going to fall into the lakes of sulfur. That's literally happening right now. Lucifer is Donald Trump, and everything that's happening in America right now is them being thrown down into the pits of hell that is promised in the book of Revelation. And then what does the Lord say? Father says that he's building the foundation with rods of gold and blah, blah, blah. He literally mentions the foundation in the book of Revelation. And what's FIRE? The Foundation Arts and Entertainment Academy. And so I said, God knew I was going to build the foundation long before I was even born. So, yeah, the book of Revelation, that's the only part of the Bible that you need to be paying attention to, because it's all playing out. The plagues, the trumpeting angels, like it's all starting to happen. People like Thomas Massey and all of that, God knew it was coming. So for the psychics and mediums that are predicting the doom and gloom and the Illuminati and that taking over and us falling into a dystopian world, and that, you're wrong. You've been fed the fear, and so you've prophesied fear. Which means you have no faith in God. When you have faith in God, you know exactly what's coming, therefore you would have no fear. And that's why I'm here, to say to everyone, don't be afraid of what's coming. This is where we're nearly over the hurdle. Once these prime ministers and presidents and that start resigning and getting arrested, that's it, game over, and then we get to start anew. So don't be afraid. Don't feed into the fear. Just follow my voice. Follow me, and I will lead you to the path of salvation. Okay? And waiting for you there are games and movies and TV shows and stuff like we grew up with that you're absolutely going to love, I promise. There's comedy, there's horror, and trust me when I say, when I get my Halloween stuff out there, when I get my horror stuff out there, even with kids being involved, there's no holds barred. Like in my zombie movie, kids and babies and that die. Like in real life, that's why I said I write real life, and in real life, if there was a zombie apocalypse, because it is based on the COVID pandemic thing, it affected babies and children, and a real zombie apocalypse would affect babies and children. And the one thing they never put in these movies is babies and children being affected, which is why I loved James Herbert. He's my favourite horror author. I own all his, well, I did back at the dungeon, all his books. And in his book, was it Rats or Lear, babies got eaten, and Peter Jackson, with Brain Dead, a baby got turned into a zombie there. So, yeah, I'm going to be a no holds barred, but you'll be able to sit in my little theatre, and the curtains will draw back, and you'll sit in your old little chairs, eating your popcorn and that with your girls, your dates and that, having the bejeebers scared out of them, just like the old days, watching my movies and that. So, yeah, I can't wait. So, yeah, someone's going to be coming and saying this direct, like, come this way. We need you here. We want you with us. So that's the next stage. But yeah, just follow the sound of my voice and fear not. Because I see the future, and the future is bright. Trust me. So this is a new dawn rising. And get ready. Here comes the sun, little darling. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Mwah!